when I was little, I thought of LA as just being covered in people with cameras.
But this is how ridiculous the fear is, because what am I thinking? There's going to be a paparazzi resurgence
outside your house,
outside my apartment, like as if
this is part of our divine delusion where we're like, we matter so much.
Oh my gosh.
Goddess Hangs podcast in the paparazzi. TMZ is reporting on us again. Hello and welcome to another episode of Goddess Hangs.
Episode 64.
Woo! We made it! 64 episodes.
Made it. We all made it together.
I'm Sadie.
I'm Juliet. Obviously.
And we created Goddess Hangs podcast to make the world of mindset, manifestation, and magic more relatable and fun. Wow. So much fun.
That might have been one of the smoothest intros we've ever done.
Fucking nailed it, dude.
I know. And I think one of the reasons is we were inspired recently when Love is Blind season 2 returned.
I haven't watched it yet.
Well, I won't spoil anything except for the fact that Nick Lachey does say obviously, which is where we took this from. Borrowed. We're inspired. Borrowed. I don't think he trademarked that word, so it's okay.
That was just the funniest thing that happened. That whole, I don't know if it was the funniest, but
well, it was the most memorable.
Yeah, because Nick Lachey, obviously, like I love him and I think he's relevant forever, but he's like not very relevant to like a lot of the younger generation. We're probably like, what do you mean obviously? Who is this guy?
If you're under 25, who is that?
Like we were like, oh yeah, obviously, for sure, Nick. But for many people, they were probably like, who?
I know. I'm like, hey, I do own every season of Newlyweds, Nick and Jessica, on DVD. So I did obviously know who he was.
I bought a pair of Jessica Simpson shoes today.
Stop. She posted something on 22222 about what shall I manifest tonight, and I said, my girl Jessica is a witch. And I was very excited about that.
One of those witches, baby. I love it.
So what is new with you?
What is new with you? What did we talk about last week? Oh, we were talking about our psychic moments. I'm like, all the weeks are blurring together. What happened? So we had Valentine's Day. We already talked about that.
Talked plenty. That was so last month.
It was so last month. It does feel like ages ago. I'm like, what did I do this past week? I felt like, I felt like I had a busy weekend, but I, for the life of me, can't remember what. I had a super fun sleepover with some of my friends.
Oh, fun.
My friend Claire house sits this beautiful home in Laurel Canyon sometimes, and they're like the most generous people. They always are like, yeah, go ahead and have friends over and stuff. So we planned a Secret Santa ages ago in our little friend group to exchange gifts, but it kept getting canceled and moved, and we really wanted to be all together and do this sleepover and do it right. So finally it was basically a Galentine's by then, but we did a gift exchange, and oh my gosh, I have to tell you all about the most fun game I've ever played.
Okay, I'm ready.
So one, we had some drinks and we were a little high, but so that made us laugh very hard at this game, but the game was so fun. So it was like a combination of like charades and I don't know, a couple different things. You play multiple rounds. So to begin, so we had a small group, so we didn't split off into teams, but you could do this with teams. But to begin, we all did like 5 to 7 pieces of paper and wrote something on the piece of paper and put it in a hat.
Okay, this is starting to sound familiar.
So with the intention that the first round, you use your words to like describe it. Sort of like that heads up game where you're trying to get them to guess.
I know this game.
Yeah, so the first round is like heads up. And then with those same pieces of paper, you put them all back in. And then the second round is charades. And then you put those same pieces of paper back in. And then the third round, you can only say one word. So, but then by now you're kind of familiar with what's in the hat. So like it's just so funny. Like how you would know, right? But it like didn't technically make sense. And then we made up a fourth round, where you could only make noises. And we were just, I mean, we kept having to run to the bathroom because we were all like peeing our pants laughing so hard, and it was so fun. And we were just putting the most ridiculous things in the hat, you know, to play. It was the most fun I've had in a long time. Like, it was.
I love that.
I can't wait to be in a group of people again. We should play this at the retreat, by the way.
Oh my gosh, yes.
It'll be so fun.
Yes, please.
It was so fun. It was hysterical. I had the best time. And oh my gosh, I should have brought it. But so my gift that I received from my friend Jesha, she had me for Secret Santa. She got me a Halloween themed tarot deck. Ooh. That is like the cutest thing I've ever seen. I still need to put it on my Instagram stories. I've been meaning to because it's so cute. But it has like, you know, witches and vampires and all of this. The art is so cool and so beautiful. And then like I have to remember, so it has pumpkins in place of pentacles, like the suits. It has I can't remember, the imps, like little devils. The imps were in place of fire because they're like, you know. So wands, the imps were wands. And then there's spirits. I think there were like ghosts, the ghost suit that has to do with cups, like water. And then I can't remember what the air one was. Maybe that was spirits. I don't know. But it's like the cutest little tarot deck ever.
That's so on brand with who you are.
Right? I was like, this is the most Sadie. And it's funny because I've had that tarot deck in my Amazon cart for like a year. But I'm like, I have so many decks. And, you know, since I'm not doing a lot of readings anymore, I'm going to do a few starting now. But I haven't been using my tarot decks. I don't do it a lot for myself, but now I'm inspired since I have my Halloween one to do it for myself for fun. So yeah, that was super fun. She also got me a beautiful pendulum and this really yummy incense. And then Jesha, I didn't have her. Another friend had a gift for her, but Jesha collects dolls, like antique dolls. And she already owns, some of you may have seen this on my Instagram story at the time, but she already owns a couple haunted dolls. And that's not necessarily her intention to collect haunted ones specifically. She just likes creepy dolls. She's a creepy girl.
Oh, I saw some recently when I was out. I know where to direct her to.
Yeah. So the friend that had her, so Jesha's Polish. And so she found this really cute antique Polish doll that she like got from Etsy or something for Jesha. But then she happened to see on her like Nextdoor app that a neighbor was getting rid of these extra dolls like for free. And I mean, she had screenshotted the conversation that was just hysterical between neighbors about like, are they haunted? Like the listing itself said, not haunted that I know of. But anyway, so our friend Becca goes and picks up these dolls. And so Jesha ends up receiving like 4 dolls.
What a day for Jesha.
It was a big day. So, and I had this pendulum had just been gifted. And as she was opening them, I was getting a lot of chills. So I was like, ooh, like at least one of those has something going on with it.
Right.
So I was like, oh my gosh, you gifted me a pendulum. Like, let's do this. So it was freaky. It was all good feelings, but I took each doll in hand one by one. One of them, as soon as I held onto it, I knew. I was like, this is going to be yeah. But the other one, I didn't know, but it ended up saying yes. But like the pendulum was like shaking over it. So like, you know, sometimes your ego will kind of go, oh, I might have made it swing or whatever. But this was like, I was holding it still and there's no way for me to like make just the stone shake on the bottom.
Okay, whoa.
You know, it was so weird. And then it would start my yeses going around clockwise for 2 of them. So 2 of the 4 were quote unquote haunted. But then I said, are you excited to like be with Jesha? Are you like I don't like saying like good or bad, but I basically was like, are you excited to be here? Are you gonna keep Jesha safe, like that thing? And they were like, yeah. And I could like feel it, the excitement through the pendulum. I was like, oh, they're so pumped to be Jesha's little babies now. But it was kind of fun because I'd never done that with anything before. Like, do you have a spirit with you, you know? So hot tip, if you collect haunted anything, or if you go to like an antique store, like bring your pendulum and use it to see if something has like energy attached to it still. So that was kind of fun and cool. And we had just had our pendulum workshop last month in the Coven.
Yes, which was so fun.
Right. That everyone was like so geeking out over it, and I've been using a pendulum for so long I like forgot what it was like when I first started using it and how cool it was. And if you join the Coven this month or you're just joining it, you get to watch all the replays. So if you want to learn about pendulums, we have an amazing pendulum workshop.
A lot of magic, a lot of learning, and a few laughs.
Every Coven meeting with us has a few laughs.
You laugh, you cry, you get chills.
Yep.
It's a time and a half.
It's an emotional roller coaster.
Oh my God, so fun. I was trying to feel in, because on your story you said which ones are haunted, and I was trying so hard, and I thought, you know what? If I'm not in their energy,
it's hard.
It's gonna be hard, because my guess was completely different.
Everyone picked the same two, pretty much, 1 and 3, and it's because they were the spookiest looking. Which I was like, I get why you're saying that.
You're like,
it was 1 and 2.
This one's fine.
Yeah, it's like, no, that one's
you can add that to your resume.
That one's empty inside.
Professional haunted doll inspector.
There you go. If you have a doll you need me to inspect, just
ship it to Goddess Hangs, P.O. Box 16194,
and include the return shipping label.
And we will let you know. It's like when you send your doll away to the American Girl doll store, your doll will come back with a little hospital band and a printed report.
This one will have a certificate of haunting authenticity.
Hauntauthenticity.
Hauntauthenticity.
Oh my gosh. We may want to offer that around Halloween time. That might be so funny.
That would be fun. Or we could collect, like, we could go to an antique shop and find some haunted things and like do a little auction or something. Like, do you want
haunted auctions?
A haunted auction, a auction. It's got a zing to it. What do
Look
you
at these entrepreneurial minds at work. Let's go buy some haunted stuff.
We just set up a little booth in our local antique stores. Step right up. You want to know if that's haunted? Step right up.
Oh my
We can start our own haunted
$5
antique store.
Come on.
There are I've stumbled upon like Instagram pages that are fully dedicated to haunted dolls and like what their personalities are like and all of these things. And
we could run with that so fast.
Right? But it's so funny because like I don't know how I got here. Probably something that Jesha reposted because she's into haunted dolls, and I like clicked on it. And then I was reading these comments and there was all this drama of like the ethics and like, this isn't a real haunted doll seller. If you see my reviews, you know that I am right about all of the spirits and my girls and things like that. Like, it was like, I was just like, gosh. I loved it.
The real haunted doll sellers of Orange County. Where do I stream it?
The drama. Ooh. And then that would be a hysterical TV show. And then sometimes it's just the doll in the little interview frame, and then there's just like little like talk bubbles, but it's completely silent. It's just spooky music. You
might want to make this as a joke. It'll probably, I don't know if it'll go viral, but you guys will watch it.
We could collab with, you know what, actually we could do this legit, because we could get Jesha to help us with it, with her haunted dolls.
She has the collection.
And then one other fun thing we did, so my friend Claire has a really fun virtual film club that she is working on being able to host like live events in LA. So if you're in the LA area, keep an eye out for that. Her Instagram is Sunday Scaries with 2 Y's, Sunday. And so we were making this like little trailer, like a little sizzle reel of like what a live event looks like, so she can sort of start sending it around to people that she could work with. And so her friend, well, she's my friend now too, Maura, she's an amazing like filmmaker, and she's made her a couple little trailer things before, but she would 1000%, she loves spooky shit, she would love to make us a real haunted dolls of LA, like funny thing.
I'm loving the drama of like, that this is somebody who's not in it for the right reasons.
Yeah, we could do it. Jesha says she has a haunted clown doll. Yeah, and it has a music box in it.
Oh no. That just made me feel weird.
So it has a music box in it. And she said that like the little music box will go off sometimes. So when she like moved and like the clown doll was sitting in a box for a few days and he was like, I want to come out, like the music box went off and she walked past it. And then another time she said her and her cousin were watching a show and I can't remember, it was a movie that I'm familiar with, I don't know, but there's some line in the movie that a woman said something like, oh, like some kind of clown, like an insult, and then the music box went off. Like he was like, oh, I gotta chill. Like he was like, what do you like, that's not, oh, that's an insult, like it went off really loud and they both like screamed.
Oh, that feels strange in my body.
And I'm just like, like a haunted doll is one thing, and then a haunted clown doll. Like you all saw Gretchen, she's fucking terrifying. But I got accustomed to her. But like I legit cried when she was coming home, and I don't even think she's actually haunted. I mean, I
think she's with spirit, but I don't think it's like a haunting spirit.
Yeah. She's there's something about her, you know? Mm-hmm. She's magnetic. What can I say? But I was like, a clown doll is 10,000 more times terrifying than just a regular doll. And then a clown doll with a music box that sometimes goes off sporadically. Oh my God. But she said that she feels like he protects her home and protects her. So I was like,
does he have a name?
Not that I know of. I didn't ask.
Jonesy
the clown.
I'm just going to call him that.
Shout out to Jesha's clown doll.
Jesh and Jones.
And her new 2 haunted dolls that she has. Shout out. Yeah.
I'm excited to just have a play date and meet them all.
Yes. And create the real haunted dolls of LA.
Mm-hmm. I love it. Hello, reality TV show. We have an idea. Knock. Who is it? It's us. Opportunity.
I can't believe no one's done this before. It's a gold mine, baby.
I told you this story, I think a week or two ago, about the music box, the wind-up thing.
That's what I thought of that right away.
Can I tell that story briefly?
It's so funny.
So
it's like a little sad, but you did the right thing by just letting her have it.
So at my old job, at my old school, Magic School Bus, at my old job, there was a music snow globe, wind-up snow globe on the boss's desk, and they went out of town and we had made the desk all dirty, and when they were coming back into town, I went to sort of tidy the desk up because that would have been the first thing we would have heard about if it was not so it was just like obviously what we need to prioritize. And I'm cleaning it up, and as I'm cleaning it, I'm like, oh, I didn't realize this snow globe made music. Let me wind it up because I wanted to hear the little song, you know.
As one does.
Don't tempt me with a good time. So I wind it up.
I'm just picturing you like listening to the music and just like,
ding, 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 ding. I'm like, oh, this is nice, you know. And the song ends, and I put it down, and as happens with snow globes, if they get bumped, you know, within a day or two,
recently wound,
they'll sing for 5 seconds. So anyways, the music had stopped. Everything's back on the desk. A couple hours later, the boss returns. She goes to her desk, you know, bumps it because she's putting down her bags and everything. And the snow globe starts singing. And I know why it's singing because I wound it 2 hours earlier. And she starts sobbing. And she's like, oh my God, it's the spirit of so-and-so and they're with me. And everybody get in here. And the whole staff gathers, including me. And I'm sitting there and I said, I'm just going to let her have it. I can't ruin this for her.
And you know, maybe that spirit nudged you to wind up that snow globe. Maybe.
But I was like, oh no, I can't. Can you imagine if I was like, oh no, actually I wound it. I touched your personal special belonging and wound it. because we made your desk messy while you were away.
Oh my gosh. I was laughing so hard at that.
And I kept that secret inside until I think a week ago. This is
what's so funny is like we're just kind of chilling as we doing a little work. And I think like Juliet got up and was sort of just like stretching. I was still sitting on the couch like on my computer. You were like, yeah, you had like gotten up and you're kind of just like stretching and moving a little bit. And then you kind of like give me this mischievous look out of nowhere. We're not talking about our old job. Nothing.
Because we honestly don't.
No. And then she looks at me and I'm like, what? And she goes, I have a secret to tell you. It's like, okay.
I'm like, remember that snow globe we gathered around?
The beans, and I'm just dying laughing. I'm like, why are you thinking about this right now?
I had to come clean.
Oh, it's so funny though.
But yeah, back to the clown. Can't wait to wind up old Jonesy.
And see what's up.
See what's up.
Yeah. So yeah, I had a weekend full of haunted dolls and fun. And
I love it.
Anything else? I'm going to Milwaukee this weekend. When this airs, I'll be back. But for one of my best friends I grew up with, it's his wedding. So I'm going to see a bunch of my childhood friends. Fun. Be back in. I'm a little peeved that someone would get married in February in Wisconsin. If it's cold. Not a destination wedding, you know. I'm a little peeved that I'm going back to the cold and it's not like Christmas time, right? But everything else is going to be great. I have an aunt and uncle and a cousin that live there that I'm going to stay with. It's going to be super fun to see them. If I don't see them often, when I go home, I'm like in my hometown and they're in Milwaukee. It's kind of far. So I'm excited for that. And yeah. What's new with you?
I have just an array of things. I was going to start with this other thing. That is so uninteresting. But I'll start with, I got to see a song I composed on Sesame Street.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just so cute because I don't see anything. I mean, I just send in a song and then you wait and see, which is sort of the music industry at large. You're sort of the last to know anything. And I saw that the gardening episode, the community garden episode, was going to air on HBO Max because they run there for 6 months and they move over to PBS or something like that. And I watched it and oh gosh, and you never know who's really gonna, well, I guess I did have a script, so I sort of knew, but I forgot who was gonna sing it. So it was Elmo and Big Bird, a newer puppet named Tamir, and this little girl named Charlie, and Oscar the Grouch was in the background. He wasn't singing,
I saw Oscar
but he
the Grouch. He made me happy. He
nodding.
was still dancing along, and he was playing with some of his trash.
He was watering his trash. Yeah. And there were butterflies everywhere that everybody pointed out, which I thought was so sweet. That was very, very exciting. The other story I was going to tell was I went to the spa, and with my sister, we had been gifted massages for Christmas, and we said, okay, great, let's go together. And I don't know why I feel like telling this, but it just made me laugh so hard. Like, we're going to this really bougie spa, and they said, help yourself to the complimentary fruit. Yes. And I was like, get your bag. 1 banana, 2 bananas, 3 bananas, 4 bananas. I was like, we're low on bananas, So
gotta keep the banana stock.
It was complimentary, okay?
You very proudly showed it on your Instagram story afterwards.
I was just laughing so hard. I had some great meals and smoothies with those bananas. Thank you to the place that I'm not going to name.
Shout out. Sponsoring the bananas.
But it rhymes with Merc Billiams. I'll tell you that.
Merc Billiams. Schmirk Schmilliams.
Oh my God, they are so nice there.
I've never been in one.
I know that's what they're paid to do, but they treat you like you just floated down from heaven and are there with a message of peace. They're like, welcome, I'll show you around. Make yourself comfortable. Can I get you anything? I'm like, I haven't been treated like this, and I don't know since when. I mean, it's really, it's very nice. So
I need to try it out.
Oh my gosh, it's wonderful.
I need to get a real... Well, I was like, I've never had a real massage, but I did have one, and it was very bougie because the guy came to our house.
Oh, I love that. Yes.
It was awesome. he just set up his table in our living room.
Well, you could specifically request a man to massage you.
Yeah, and it was a guy.
I always request a woman because I'm still like, I don't know if I want to be locked in a room with a man. I don't know. One day I'll get over that maybe.
So that was the only like quote unquote real massage I've gotten. We go to the place near us, the reflexology place, all the time, that they just put like a blanket over you, and it's like they do like your whole back and like your arms and neck and shoulders and everything, but it's like over. Have you been to a place like that?
They start that way. Oh yes, I've done stuff like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just one room, everyone's in it. It's like, I don't know, it's like $30 for an hour. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But I always ask for a guy because they're stronger. And I'm like, give it to me.
No, they go deep. They go right up into your glutes.
Yeah. I don't care.
Like, yeah. No,
because then Craig always requests a woman, but then he complains that it wasn't deep enough of a massage. And I'm like, dude, gotta get a guy.
So I went to Merck Billiams with my sister. What did I do over the weekend? I stayed in pretty much. Did laundry, I cleaned. And then we had 22222.
Yes, that was a good day.
It was a magical day. And ever since 22222, was that yesterday? Ever since yesterday, no, the past few days, I've been receiving the clearest signs. And I don't typically receive, or I'm not paying attention to, crystal clear signs. Like I'll think of something and then an iridescent star-shaped balloon will fly by. Like just, or I thought, as I drove to my appointment this morning, because Sadie got me hooked on the
yes, what's new with Juliet? She's got some lashes.
I've got some. They're a little more subtle.
Yeah, they'll be dramatic soon.
Shout out to, what is her business called?
She just Lash Me Christina V on Instagram.
Lash Me Christina V. I told her, I said, I'll give you a little shout out on the pod.
Shout out Christina. I'm trying to convince her to start, well, not a lash business, but she's a brilliant branding and social media consultant, so she needs to start her own business.
Amazing.
I nudge her every time I'm there. I'm like, don't stop doing this because I want you to keep doing my eyelashes. She's probably listening. Hi, Christina.
Hi.
Shout out. Start your business already.
But I walked in a hot mess this morning. Sadie was getting her lashes finished, so she's lying down all in the zone, and I walk in and just with no regard for Sadie's relaxation, I said, I had a nightmare that this went terribly wrong and I'm very nervous.
Well, and my eyes were closed, so I was like, hi Juliet, and Christina's like, she's still in the other room, she wasn't sure if you wanted her to come in. I'm like, it's eyelashes, I'm not getting a massage, Juliet, get in here.
I just was like, maybe you just wanted to finish up maybe you were meditating or something. I do
sometimes. I like to, because I told you, like, I talk to her like half the time and then it kind of drifts off and I will sort of fall asleep, but I get a lot of downloads. I have a note in my phone that's like eyelash spirit guide business meeting because I feel like I get downloads when I'm doing it because you're forced, to
close your eyes and lie down.
I'm pretty good meditator now. Not always. I go through spurts. Like I spent about a month not meditating. I'm getting back in it, but you can you're like, okay, I'm sitting here and focused, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna write something down, and then I'm like, okay, get back in. I'm like, I'm gonna write something else down, but there, you got to keep your eyes shut. So
I know I was drifting off, and I would feel my body twitch.
Yeah,
it was actually very relaxing.
That happens.
I loved it. I told her, I said, it's really nice to have something cosmetic done that doesn't hurt, because there are so many things where beauty hurts. Yeah. And it's nice that this one doesn't.
I know, my laser facials. Whew. There's 2 different ones I do. One of them doesn't hurt that bad and kind of feels good, but it's not relaxing. It's like a 15-minute in and out thing. And then the other one hurts so fucking bad. And I'm like, why am I doing this? Yeah. But it makes my skin like amazing. So that's why I do it.
Well, no one cares about my hair laser on my armpits, but I tried it, and it starts off, oh, what's the big deal? And then every week they turn that thing hotter and hotter. And finally I said, I don't need this.
I'm like, give me the full blast, and I just breathe through it and
impressive.
Whatever. I don't know.
So in terms of one last like big obvious sign is I'm driving on the freeway this morning feeling just I don't know what I thought. I thought, oh my God, is my eye going to get conjunctivitis?
I did it. I was, the whole 2 hours I was laying there for the first sex, you know, it takes a little longer than a fill. I was like, there's no way my eyes aren't glued shut right now. I was like, there's no way. I can tell.
As I'm having this worry, right in front of me comes this truck, and on the back of the truck is a painting of a guy with a thumbs up. And I think it might have even said like, everything will be great or something. I was like, okay, I am going to stop worrying. It was I've been having some great problems lately, some great things to be worried about. I mean, even when I feel overwhelmed with stuff that we're setting up or putting together, I always pinch myself. I'm like, these are great problems, and I'm very lucky. That's basically what's new with me. Yesterday I did get a download of like this next creative project. That's all I'm gonna say right now.
Excited.
We're gonna be a whole experience. It's gonna be really fun, really accessible, and will grow over time.
Yes, I'm excited that I get to help consult on the project.
Yes, Sadie will be the lead consultant and the only consultant.
Yes, I did have one other thing that I remembered was new with me that I wanted to share, because I like to share parts of my grief journey, you know.
Yes, please.
And we've had some really major, huge, exciting things falling into place and getting put together. And part of that process is like waiting and wondering what it's going to be like and things like that. So one, I don't know if you can relate, it's been a little bit like challenging, because I'm like, what am I supposed to feel right now? It's almost like being in this in-between place where I'm like, I'm really excited, but then I'm like, you don't actually know how this is going to play out, so tone it down. And like, I feel like I've been on a little bit of a roller coaster, but all like, again, amazing problems to have. But then another part of that is like, and this happens whenever things are going really great and there's things to celebrate, is that I get so fucking sad because it's like, it's shitty that I don't get to call my mom, you know, and I don't get to like take my mom out to dinner and tell her the big news and things like that. So I just, on Monday, I think it was Monday, the past week I've been feeling anxiety, which I have pretty well under control, and I've been journaling on it a lot. And I think part of it is just being in this in-between space. And February I didn't really launch anything, so I didn't really like have an impressive like income month, but we've been like investing a lot of money, so I think that was a little bit of my ego, even though everything's fine and like things are moving and shaking, and I'm launching this next month. I was having some sort of ego around that. And then this big stuff and being sad, I want to tell my mom all about it. And I had this big release on Monday and just sobbed my freaking eyes out. And oh my God, it felt so good. And I need to just get better at telling Craig and being like, hey, I feel sad. I'm feeling anxious. Because I like hold it all inside. It's something I've done since I was little, and I've been working on, where I just like don't want to inconvenience others with my feelings for some reason, even though it's fine to feel. It's great to check in and, you know, say like, hey, Juliet, is it okay if I dump my grief on you right now if I want to talk about it or something?
I would drop everything.
You know, because I know sometimes I'm not ready to be dumped on, but most of the time it's okay. But yeah, so I'm trying to work on that. But then Tuesday morning, Tuesday, I was doing my morning pages, and some more like stuff came out that I had been holding on to that I didn't know was like making me feel upset about like just like when I was a teenager. I was just a really bratty teenager. I looking back, I was very anxious and depressed, and I didn't understand that, so I didn't ask for help. But I had this whole like journal entry about how that felt like such wasted time. Like I was so sad that was wasted time. You know, I only had 24 precious years with my mom, and I wish I would have known, and this wasted time. And I really processed that, and it was like another thing that I was like, I didn't know I was holding on to that. and I cried a little bit more. And then I had the best 2 Tuesday. We had our group Reiki session with Dree, and I hosted my manifestation masterclass, which the replay is on my Instagram, and it just felt really good. Like I processed a lot, and now I'm like good.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I think it's important that we are open about the harder days, the bigger feelings. As much as this is love and light and positivity, we are full and complete women with the full and complete scope of emotions.
Yes.
So I think it's really beautiful and important that you shared that.
Thanks. It's just funny because you're like, I'm supposed to be so happy right now, but it's okay. You can be both. Like I'm like the most happy ever, and I'm also like really sad that like that doesn't get to be a part of it. But I'm great and I'm okay. But just for anyone, I know we have quite a few listeners who have shared with me about like their own losses, and that's when things are going really great, a lot of times it comes with this like polarity of like, oh, I just really want to celebrate this with that person. But you know, I of course know she's with us. I feel her so strongly lately. She's like so ready to be a part of this project that we're moving forward with, and it's gonna be great. But yeah, it felt good. And I think like you kind of had like a heavier day, and it sounds like a lot of our Patreon group has had a few heavy days. So I think as a collective, we're processing some stuff, but I always get excited when I have like those really like, this was a mini dark night of the soul, I would say, because I'm like, okay, a breakthrough's coming. We're going to do some great shit after this. I'm dumping some stuff out and processing.
I know what you mean though about this. It's funny to talk about something that we can't really say anything about, but it is a strange time because I haven't really let myself get excited. Like when it starts to bubble up, I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
But it is strange to not know fully how to feel because we don't know exactly what's going to happen, how it's going to happen. We just know it's happening. So
and we know it's going to happen for our highest good, whatever that means. We trust it.
Yep.
On that note, we wanted to talk a little bit today about visibility. What it means to be seen, some of our fears around that, and what it's been like to grow in visibility lately. And our goal is to become super duper visible and continue to share and broaden our community and hopefully, bring a beautiful impact to even more lives. But that's freaky and it's weird to think about.
It is freaky. And I've been part of my little dark night of the soul day was feeling like I'm not ready to be visible. I have to get this in line and this in line and this isn't good enough and I typically don't think like that. But it did come up. And it's just interesting, all of these how the ego really comes out with its claws when we are going to be seen. Because when we let people see us, there is the fact that not everybody is going to like it, accept it, celebrate it. I mean, that's just a fact. Like nothing and no one is for everybody.
Right.
Even the things that we think are for everybody, somebody doesn't like it.
Yeah.
And so it's scary because what we want more than anything is to be a household name, because then it's like, oh my gosh, think of the adventures we can have and the stories we'll tell and the impact we can make and the lives we could potentially change. But part of that requires being seen, and being seen means putting yourself in a position to be critiqued, judged, ridiculed, whatever. And really when we're judging others anyways, we're just pointing out something that makes us uncomfortable in our own selves. You know what I mean?
It's a mirror. But it doesn't feel that way when you're the subject of being judged.
No. And so that's something where I know, I mean, it's obviously not blocking things that much because things are going pretty good, but I do feel like if I could just get over this one thing, things are going to go really, really well. And I'm like, I don't want to be the reason that this, is blocked. So I've been working really hard on it. But it's important if any of us want to grow a business or share our work, we need people to see us.
Even like on the tiniest scale of like your romantic partnership, like you have to be visible to that person, right? Like this, it's so important at any level, like whether you've got, and this goes back to what we've spoke on before, but whether there's like 50 members of your Instagram audience or there's 50,000, like you just have to show up as you and be like open to, I just think and this doesn't, I don't know, this doesn't necessarily go for everything, but in the types of lines of business we are in, like the more we share of ourselves and are vulnerable and share our journey, then like the more money we make, I think, because we're allowing people to see who we really are. And so there's this trust bill. I trust you with my story and you trust me then with yours, and how to like uplift your story and change the course of your story.
I have goosebumps.
And and get to make something magnificent out of your story, because you see, you know my whole story, and you know what's going on in here in my mind and heart and soul. And it's weird, and a lot of times like when we're in this cozy little room, I'm very open with all parts of my life, and I feel really comfortable like speaking it out. But then sometimes I'll think about it, I'm like, Sadie, you really be sharing it all.
You really do.
I don't keep any secrets, and I love being that person, because then I have so many beautiful DMs and private messages and people sharing things in our Patreon community to everyone about ways that they can relate to pieces of my story, whether it's the loss of my mom, or it's dealing with infidelity and healing through that, or it's having an open relationship, or any of the other things I share about. I'm so excited to get to share that, but then sometimes I'm just like, what if like, I don't know, my cousin's listening? I can't think about that stuff, but I don't care at the end of the day, because it feels so good to me. But I'm like, like my dad's not the producers.
Mine is.
So it's a little easier for me, I also think, to open up. Because my dad, I don't know if he is listening to Goddess Hangs, I hope he doesn't tell me that he is, because so, but it's this like intimate space where it's you and me. There's not even a producer here with us.
No, it's just us.
So it feels good to share it all. And then once we post it, I kind of forget it's out there. And so I personally don't struggle a ton with fear around visibility. I guess my fear around visibility stems more from like, I'm very aware that as much as I, want to be inclusive of everybody, and I love everyone so much, and I want all people to feel welcome in my community, that there's ways I can learn and do better and show up as like a higher version of myself. So I have fear around like being misunderstood, that like I'm, ignorant of something or not including somebody and I'm hurting somebody, but it's like, I'm human, and I'm ready to admit that if that comes up and if that is something that I need to work on. So that's where more of my visibility fear comes, of like, what if I mess up and
that's interesting.
And I'm not realizing that I'm not being inclusive in some way, but I'm perfectly ready and willing to learn and do better and own up to like whatever I can do to grow in that aspect. And I think we do a great job, quite frankly. I think that we have a beautiful community that seems to feel very comfortable with us. And I'm so grateful for that. But it's interesting because we have very different, I think we approach visibility very differently.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's funny. I'm not too worried about saying something that I'll regret, because I'm very calculated in everything I say.
Yeah, I'm just an open book. Juliet's like, Sadie, shut the fuck up.
There's a computer running before I even speak. But I think it's this fear this is cool. Okay, we're going to work this through right now. I think there's this fear that when I become visible, I will lose something. I will lose privacy. I will lose this. I will lose that. But really, like, today was this amazing example of what was to be gained. So when I went to do the lash appointment with beautiful Christina, who I had never met. I lied down on the table and she's like, oh, congrats on your Sesame Street thing. And I loved the photo shoot you girls did recently. And I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, this is somebody who, because I chose to be visible about something, sort of knows who I am. Like, that's great. And then later on in the day, you and I went somewhere else and I didn't know this person.
Right.
And they said, oh yeah, your show, and you could use this room to do something or other. And I thought, this is kind of nice.
Yeah.
This is nice. And it wasn't scary and I wasn't deprived of privacy. And it was like a gift.
Yeah.
And so today was kind of, I'm hoping, a big turning point for me. I also don't know what I'm really trying, like, what am I thinking I'm going to lose? I don't know what I actually think I think because we grew up in the time when if somebody was visible, they couldn't leave their house.
Yeah.
Like, they were chased down by cars and cameras and
now everyone's so visible that's less interesting.
Yeah, you don't really hear about that so much now.
And unless we want to pull a Kardashian and pay the paparazzi to show up for us, which I learned about today from someone saying they used to do that. I'm like, fucking brilliant.
Well, that was sort of the move at the time. I mean, for others as well. My dad was at a restaurant once eating lunch and they noticed, this was probably in 2003, that Paris Hilton was eating, who I love you, Paris, was eating
Paris,
lunch.
If you're listening,
Paris, come on the show. Paris was eating nearby and there was nobody around. I mean, and then all of a sudden I guess they saw her make a phone call. All these cameras showed up to take pictures of her leaving the restaurant. And my dad was like, oh, I think they call them and tell them where they're going to be.
Yeah.
Because the restaurant owner certainly didn't. Like, it was interesting. And
in LA, like, no one really cares if they're eating next to a celebrity where they're like, I'm going to make the call.
Yeah, no. I mean, now everybody has a phone. They would just take a picture and sell it independently.
Right. Yeah. Do the paparazzi still exist? Like, in the way they used to? I'm sure they still exist somewhat.
Because, I mean, not that I've done this, but I know of somebody
I've never seen any in LA.
I don't think I have either.
I think, like, when I was little, I thought of LA as just being covered in people with cameras.
But this is how ridiculous the fear is, because what am I thinking? There's going to be a paparazzi resurgence
outside your house,
outside my apartment, like, as if
this is part of our divine delusion where we're like, we matter so much.
Oh my gosh.
Goddess Hangs podcast in the paparazzi. TMZ is reporting on us again.
I won't be able to go to the market. I won't be able to do normal things. I don't even like doing normal things. I don't like going to the market.
I would love to have an excuse to have to order all my groceries.
So,
oh babe, I can't. You have to go. I'm too famous.
I'll just be followed but that is,
yeah, I don't have fears around that. I love attention.
No.
So, it's, if I'm eating lunch and you want to come say hi to me, I'm like, fuck yeah, get over here. I love it. Like, because I live in a small beach town and, like, my hands are kind of famous here, because remember when we were eating and the waitress, like, doubled back and was like, do you go to Carly? I recognize your hands. And it happened when I was out recently too in our little neighborhood. Someone walked up and they were like, do you go to Carly? I recognize your hands because of the tattoos. I always love your nail art. And I was like,
that's funny.
I was like, how fucking cool am I that my hands are famous?
The famous fingers
in my small beach town, which is more of a testament to Carly than me, but I love being stopped and complimented, let me tell you.
So I need to soak in that energy. I'm ready for it. I have to just let go of this delusion that paparazzi are going to chase me through Trader Joe's.
I'm going to be the one calling the paparazzi on us because I'm like, oh yeah, we need some attention. I'm going to call them and be like, me and Juliet will be at the usual spot for lunch. Hang on.
Goodbye. You're welcome. So, because it's important, because if we had chosen to not be visible, I mean, even creating a video component, that was a big choice. We didn't have to do that. Yeah. The more you're visible, the more people feel like they know you, the more they trust you, like you said, and the more they want to follow along on your journey.
Yeah. And there's not like one right way to connect to your audience or connect to your partner or whatever it is. Like Juliet and I have very different approaches to the way we approach like social media and sharing our lives, and both ways work great. We both sell, we both make money, we both.
What's the biggest difference?
I think I'm on Instagram 24/7 and you're not. I just share more of my like day to day.
Okay, I thought that's what it was.
Yeah. I just share more of my day to day, and I'm a little more like present on it, like sharing like little stuff that maybe is insignificant, but I enjoy it.
No, I always love seeing what you're up to.
And I think I spend a lot more time like responding to like DMs and stuff on my, but it's because I share more, so I receive more DMs and things like that. But you can have a more reserved approach to social media and you still have great results in your business. So, and the reason I want to point that out is like, if you don't feel called to share everything, like that's not what we're trying to say when it comes to visibility. And, you know, we're starting today when this episode airs with Quantum Goddess. And a big part of Quantum Goddess is, you know, safety and visibility and finding the way that works for you and feels good to you and inspires you, because you're not going to do it if you're forcing yourself to show up in a way that's inauthentic to you.
Absolutely.
It's important to be present if you have, you know, a business or a project or a vision that you want to share with the world. But it doesn't have to be one certain way. There's so many ways to be visible and find success.
I was thinking as I was driving here today about visibility and how whenever I would hear people who are very active on social media say like, oh, you only see like 5% of my life. I always thought that's not true. You're posting all day long. But it might be true, because I think, wow, I have friends that I'm extremely close with and I don't post about it, or like I'm with Victor every single day and I don't really post about it. Yeah. I'm with my family. I don't post about it. Like I think anything that is more business podcast personality, quote unquote, driven, I'll share. But if it's a bit more personal, I'm just choosy with it. But yeah, it's a testament to what you're saying of like, the point is to feel safety in visibility at whichever level you would like to be visible in. Yeah. Like, I don't know, take a look at your like 5 favorite creators on like whatever platform that you love, and how do they show up? You know, a lot of creators don't share their personal life at all, and it's all humor or it's all art or it's all whatever. So it's not necessarily that you have to get like so personal. I think in our line of work, it helps to be personal because we're helping you with your personal lives. So it's like, yeah, we want to share our journey. But it really depends on like what it is that you're trying to show up for. And I've always been a ham on social media. Like on my private account, I was always sharing every day on my stories and stuff and cracking jokes. So that's just me. That's what I like to do. But I think I'm just really excited to explore with our Quantum Goddesses, like what visibility means to each of them and what that's going to look like. And there's nothing to be afraid of. There's not, as long as you stay true to like what feels really good to you. And when you do that, and when you feel really good about what you're posting and you feel really good about the way you're showing up, first of all, it's really hard for the haters to even show up. I've barely gotten any. And I share a lot and have
a lot of people coming through my Instagram because they come and take a peek from Craig's whenever he reposts me and stuff. Not all following, but just like whenever he reposts me, like my Instagram stories, there's tons just looking to look, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know. I just think I think we're both so unavailable for it.
Yeah.
And then when it does come up, very rarely. I think the last time was like maybe 6 months ago. Some girl was like, "Oh, you're selling magic. You're such a scammer. Magic isn't real." And I'm like, "You obviously don't get what's going on this page." That's fine, but that's the thing. It made me laugh. You know, I wasn't like, "Oh, am I a scammer?" No, the magic I sell is very real. So it's just interesting. Like, if you're, I guess my point is, like, if you're really showing up the way you want to show up, anyone that has judgment to put on you or something negative to say, like, it's very easy to brush off. Easier than when you're forcing yourself to show up in a way that doesn't feel good and that comes through, then yeah, it's probably going to feel shitty.
That's so true. Like, if your gut is telling you, like, maybe don't share your relationship or whatever, and then you start doing it and then somebody says something mean about it, and you're like, I knew I shouldn't have done this. Just trust your gut. With this and with everything. I love what you were saying. I don't know what somebody could send to me at this moment that would absolutely break my heart.
Like, oh, your business is dumb. Like, okay, cool.
Okay, thank you.
I'm making a lot of money and I'm having fun, so. Oh, it sucks to be me.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I used to do like a live streaming thing. It was G-rated, okay? Nothing against not that.
Yeah, I did it too for a month.
Okay. And people would come in sometimes and there would be comments about, like, just different things in my appearance, like, oh, you should fix this or change this. And I was like, okay, thank you.
You're not the one making money based off how cute you are.
Yeah, you know, everyone has got something to say anyways, so you might as well be visible and do what you love and do what makes you happy and call in your dream audience, your dream clients. And again, today was such a cool example of, oh, when people know who you are, it's actually very comforting and sweet. And I loved it, actually.
Think about the comfort of, like, your closest friendships, or think about, like, whether you're with your current partner or, like, in a past relationship, like, that first moment that you felt really seen by that person and how good that feels. Like, that's the relationship you should have with your audience.
Aww.
And that's, like, you guys will, like, send me a meme or send me, like, a jewelry line and be like, this is so you, and I'm just like, I feel so seen.
I get those too.
Yeah, and it's so cool because it's like, I'm being seen. I'm being seen the way I want to be seen because I'm showing up the way I want to show up, and it's really magical and it's really special, and it's something that's available for all of us. And there's so many more gifts from, you know, claiming the visibility that you desire. There's so many more gifts than there is scary stuff.
Oh, I feel like I'm growing just as we chat about this. Truly, because this has been like a tough cookie for me to crumble.
Yeah, Juliet's been
wigging out.
I can feel your visibility when you're thinking about it. Yeah, but
then I get super visible and everything goes great. So I don't know where that comes from. I don't know where that got sort of indoctrinated into me, but
I don't know. It could be a number of things. Sometimes our birth charts can make us more predisposed to being comfortable with it. It could be past lives. It could be being a kid and, you know, maybe you were told to, like, simmer down or not be so vibrant. You know, like, there could be a number of things. Someone could have said something to you once and it just you don't even remember it, but it's like causing a, I don't know. I always think about how, like, when I was a kid, I was both incredibly shy and also such an entertainer, which is so funny.
I was the same way.
But then people would always say, like, Sadie's so shy, Sadie is so shy, Sadie is so shy. And that was really hard for me for a long time because inside I wasn't shy. I was really outgoing inside. And I still, like, depending on the group of people I'm with, like, I can get shy. Like, when I'm with, like, Craig and all of his comedian buddies, I get a little shy because they're all, you know, loud, funny, big personality. So I'll kind of, like, get a little smaller. But I just think, like, that was a lot of the work I had to do when I was starting my business. Like, the first time I went on Instagram Live, I was shitting myself. My voice was quaking. I was sweating. I was clammy. And I think I stayed on for about 5 minutes because I, like, didn't know. I was just, like, I had this whole plan. And then I, like, said it all super fast and then, like, got off, you know? And it's, like, it comes with practice. Now I'm so comfortable. The first time I did a one-on-one call with somebody, I was shitting myself. The first time I did a group call with one of my programs, I was gonna throw up. I was like, why did I do this to myself? And now my favorite thing in the world is group calls. And so you just have to start somewhere. And when you know in your heart, like, I knew in my heart that I wanted to, you know, teach live courses online. I knew in my heart I wanted to do this and be really visible. I knew in my heart that I wanted to do things as a partnership and do bigger and better and crazier things. So, like, it's really scary, but when you know that's what you want, but you know, no one wants to say, yeah, I want 1 million followers. It's such a, like, I don't know, it's a thing that you don't want to say because it makes it sound like, oh, like, why do you need that? But no, I do want 1 million followers. Because I want to make an impact on 1 million people, you know? So it's okay to want that. It's okay to not want it too. Don't get me wrong, but it's so scary. But I had to do a lot of work around, like, I'm outgoing. It's safe for me to show up. People care about what I have to say. It's okay, you know? And it happens really fast when you just start doing it.
You know, my whole 20s and my late teens, I was babysitting and nannying and working in elementary schools and teaching dance classes to 3-year-olds. And every line of work that I did, I was around bosses and parents who, if they Googled me and saw one weird thing, it would have cost me my job.
Oh.
So I think that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
I think that's where it stems from, because I mean, even in my songs, I don't think I've ever, like, well, maybe in one song I said, like, a quote unquote bad word, but I don't swear on the podcast and I don't swear in my songs. And the second this microphone turns off, it's all I do.
Yeah. Juliet's got a little mouth on her.
I think it's just that thing of, like, it's like, don't get too visible because then you won't get hired. Like,
but, like, you don't need to get hired
I know.
You'll never have to get hired again.
I know. We'll be
doing the hiring. And I'm going to be like, look, if you don't swear like a sailor, you're not going to fit into this team. Just kidding. But if you care if I swear, it's not going to work out.
So I think that sat right as I said it. I think that's
that makes sense.
What it has been, because I always had to be squeaky clean.
Chill.
I always had to be squeaky clean because I worked in education for
makes sense
under 5-year-olds.
Yeah.
Yeah. And schools would hire me to come sing to the children. And I mean, that was sort of what kept happening. And so as much as I wanted to be a little more wild, I knew it would cost me my job. So now I work for me.
Yes, you do.
So visibility is totally safe.
It is safe. And it gets to be however much you want, however you want, whatever which way.
In episode 64, Juliet has an epiphany.
Mark your calendars. We have to celebrate it next year.
Yes. We'll be like, look at what visibility transpired after Juliet got past that.
I love it.
I can't wait to see.
Let's do it. Let's mark it. It's today, the 23rd is when we're recording. Well, yeah.
February 23rd.
The day after Tuesday. So, yeah, I'm excited to keep growing in our own visibility. Keep working through that. I'm excited to help others. And whether it's visibility or something else, goddesses, don't be afraid to admit what you really want.
Love that.
I think that's so much of, like, I feel like I not wasted, I'm not gonna say wasted.
You did not waste a second.
But a decade of, like, waiting for someone else to say, Sadie, do you want to be visible? Because I always knew I wanted to be, but I never wanted to be the one to admit it. I wanted somebody else to look at me and say, you should be visible, which actually Craig did time and time again when we first started dating. He was always like, you gotta glow. And he was trying to convince me to do stand-up, and I was like, not that kind of glow. But it really made me feel comfortable to admit, like, okay, you know what? Yeah, I mean, it took over a year of him saying that to me, but finally one day I said, Juliet, we're gonna do a podcast.
And I said, I don't know, are you sure? And then I said, okay.
Yeah, she did have a little moment where she
but
backed
that's
out
how
for
I
a
am.
second.
I mean, that was me walking into the appointment today. I was like, hi, I'm very nervous and I had a nightmare. And then I do it and I'm happy I did it. That's me. Oh.
Ad break.
Ad break.
What thing are we advertising first, Juliet?
What is that rectangular box?
Why that? I'm glad you asked. It's I can't grab it. It's our Intuitive Magic Oracle deck.
Intuitive Magic Oracle. The font is pretty big.
So easy, anyone could use it.
Children, the elderly, anyone in between.
Big font, easy symbolism.
And you don't have to flip through a little book because as nice as those are, I'm over it.
Who's got the time?
Who's got the time?
Let's pull a deck for the collective. This one's peeking out. Here, I'll let you read it today.
Inner child.
Ooh.
Your inner child wishes to connect with you, reconnect with playful energy, and have fun.
I love that. Bringing playfulness to visibility.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to
really
be visible.
fun.
It's fun when people know who you are.
Because you get to connect. Like, I think about all of the time how I have, like, all of these online best friends in the Patreon, and even, like, all the people I connect with in my DMs and things. It's like, wow, what if we never met? They're such special
gems.
It's just so special to hear, like, even the simplest, this made me think of you. I'm just like, oh, thank you.
Also, as an inner child, all I wanted to be was a freaking star.
Here we are, baby.
All I wanted to
Freaking
do.
stars.
I have been practicing my autograph since I was 10 years old.
Same.
I have the same autograph I had since then.
I do too.
Because a little voice told me one day you're going to be signing many, many things, so you better know your signature. That was one of the first little nudges I got as a kid.
I felt the same way. I was always practicing. Once I learned cursive, game over.
Yeah, big same. Big same. Inner child.
Inner child. What did you want to be when you were a kid? I wanted to be a freaking witch, so here I am.
I wanted to be a singer or a teacher, and now
hey,
I do
you're
both.
teaching. I played teacher all of the time, and now I teach witchy stuff.
I used to make my dad do homework every day after school. I would come home from school. I would play school with him for an hour. I had a lesson book. I had a bell. It was like the full-on thing, and I would give him homework assignments, and he would do them. I mean, talk about, from the minute I was born, he's been so supportive. I mean, he produces our podcast out of the love in his heart. Thank you, Greg Piper. Thank you, Dad.
Had a big dream. I had a play kitchen, and I had a big dream of being a waitress.
Oh.
Which, funnily, I've never been a waitress.
I've never been a waitress.
I was a barista, though, and I actually loved it. I was really good at latte art.
Oh, of course you are.
I mean, anything you teach me, I become good at. I'm just going to say it. I am.
Good.
I'm a quick learner. And it was actually really fun. I loved being a barista. Not forever. The hours, rough. I had to wake up at like 5 a.m. to get the day going. But
I was a waitress in a music video. And that was that's my waiter. Imagine I try to get a waitressing job and I put that on the resume. It's like I played a waitress in a music video. They're like, great, it's the same thing.
I was going to say, one of my big dreams is to be in a music video, but I actually was in a music video.
Yeah?
When I was my one traumatic year, I was in a modeling agency.
What music video?
What's his name? I think his name's Corey. I don't think he got famous.
Corey in the House.
Corey in the House.
Wasn't that a Disney Channel show?
The video's still on Facebook. It's pretty embarrassing. We have another patron. Shout out Lauren. I'll look it up later. This song's actually really lovely. And
were you like the love interest?
So there was 2 guys and 3 girls in this video. It was very like Calvin Klein inspired, very sexy.
Okay.
So the instructions was like, they like there was a lot happening, but it was like, you know, Sadie, go by Joe, and then like, you know, like kind of like act like you're, but like don't make out, but like act like you're going to. And there's just these 2 like drop dead gorgeous men. I'm starting to sweat thinking about this. It was one of the sexiest days of my life. And
we're gonna need to show on the Instagram this.
I'll find it and post it. It's pretty funny. I have really thin eyebrows because it was before.
Yeah, because it was 2010.
Yeah, and actually the woman that owned the modeling agency was the one that told me to grow up my eyebrows, and I always think about how I'm so grateful she told me to do that.
Thank you, Becky.
Shout out. What's her name? I can't remember.
Becky.
The Rock Agency, Madison, Wisconsin. But that.
Were you the coolest girl in Madison, Wisconsin?
Yeah, I was. But then, yeah, there was these 2 guys, both gorgeous, and I actually had a fling with one of them for a while. But
of course,
he was boring.
Oh, isn't that a bummer like, when they're like so gorgeous? But
he wasn't. I know he was a weirdo, and I would have liked him, but this man was 1,000 times more attractive than I am, or at least I was at the time. I think I've gotten hotter as time has gone on, but
yes,
stunning human being. He was so nervous around me that he like couldn't talk, and I tried to go on multiple dates with him because I would see like how he would like post stories and stuff, or I don't think stories were a thing, but I think Instagram was brand new, but I felt like I was looking at his social media and he was like really funny, and like he was always getting tagged in things with groups of friends, and like I would go out with a group of his friends and he'd be really funny with all of them, and then he would like be with me and like just be like silent.
It's because you're too pretty.
He was so nervous around me.
You just silenced him.
But he was gorgeous, beauty. So I made out with him a lot. But yeah.
Well, and now we have men who are charismatic and very attractive and really sweet and funny and great.
But I'll find that video. I think I have it saved on my phone too.
Oh my gosh.
It's pretty embarrassing, but
I've been in a number of music videos.
I want to be in another one.
Because I've just made them for myself.
Yeah. I can't wait to be in the next one, Juliet. I'm hiring myself.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
There was one part of this music video that I was topless and like this, and then they sprayed me down with water, and I'm just wet with no shirt on.
That'll be what goes viral on our Instagram.
But you can't see anything.
Here's a year and a half of life-changing content. Here's Sadie with her top off. Whoa, the numbers went up.
It was
visibility.
It was quite the day, I will say. And it was like one of the first things I ever did for the modeling agency. I was like, is this what it's always like? I loved it.
Was your dad just so concerned?
Well, it was a promo video for the agency. So they posted it on Facebook, but he didn't have that at the time.
Because I could picture him being like, Sadie, we got to have a conversation.
It was like a thing they were sending out to all of they were a small agency that connects with the big agencies. So they were sending it out. They were like, here's our favorite models and this singer that we represent. I don't know. They did singers, actors, and models.
And this singer.
Like it would like cut into him on acoustic guitar singing and then cut back to us. And it was basically an orgy.
I'm so excited. This is going to be fun to watch.
And a little bit embarrassing for me, but also great.
We'll have to recreate it. I'll be the guy singing on the guitar, and then it'll cut to you with your top off.
Give the people what they want. Talk about visible. Wow.
They're like, enough with the singer. Let's get to what matters.
It was a great day.
Good. You deserve a great day.
It was fun. Shout out. Yeah, I think I was like 19 or 20 in that video.
Great. When I was 19, I was buying cases of Play-Doh and bringing it to Irene's house. We would like get In-N-Out Burger and play with Play-Doh.
No, that was not my 19 or 20. I was partying a lot.
I was such a... I've always been a late bloomer.
I was a very early bloomer.
Good for, yeah, you know what? And that's why in so many ways we're so opposite, but so similar.
Yes.
Why we really need each other. I always say that, like, when I'm with Victor or with anybody else, I'll say, we really need each other. We really do. I mean, I don't know if you feel that way, but I certainly feel like Sadie pulls me like past my edges and I yank her
me back a little bit.
I need to.
I am a wild woman.
It's like wrangling cats.
Yeah.
But in a fun way, in 1,000%. Like a fun, lifelong bestie kind of way.
Yeah. I've lived a full life, I'll tell you what.
What else do we want to talk about? We have their beautiful oracle deck. Oh,
I'm wearing my witch hat.
I love that witch hat.
Let me turn around so you can see the back. It's so cute.
Oh, here she comes. It says goddess hangs on the back. The hat comes in pink or white or black. And you can get one that says witch with the purple font, the purple text, or goddess with pink text. I have a white hat that says goddess in pink. We have dad hats available. These are the dad hats. We have bucket hats available. We have our beautiful, beautiful jewelry line without Charmed. You can match us with the BFF friendship bracelet. I love this bracelet. It is so delicate and dainty. So pretty. And charming.
And sparkly.
We have a goddess
both have
necklace.
Our necklaces on. I have witch on.
And then we have a BFF magic charm ring. Also, we are announcing that we're going to be selling a sticker trio bundle.
Yes.
With an autographed postcard.
Yes. That autograph we've been practicing since we were 10 years old. It could be yours.
It can be yours. We've been waiting for this moment for 30 years.
This moment. We're like, you know what? We're printing off postcards specifically so that we can sign them and send them with these sticker packs.
One of the stickers has 3 little cats and it says, "My besties are witches."
It's so cute.
That's us. Then we have one that says, "Magic is real, ... Obviously."
It's got some spell candles.
And then we have this
is my favorite one.
Goddess hangs coined term. It says divinely delusional with a little
wand with magic coming from it. That's my favorite one, I think.
And we will sign. Oh my God. I did drop this in the street today and this is what happened.
I
dented
got a little dent.
Oh well.
It's all right.
Nothing's perfect.
So when this episode airs, we'll have that sticker pack all set up in our merch store so you can go get yours.
3 stickers shipped to you and the cutest postcard you've ever seen, and we will autograph it.
And our faces are on it.
Yeah, we're in a little bathtub together.
You never know. That autograph may be worth something someday.
It might. It will.
It's going to be worth something someday.
Buy it now, sell it on eBay in 5 years.
It's an investment.
It's an investment.
Have you heard of NFTs, crypto, and the stock market? Blech, those are confusing. Blech. Buy your Goddess Hangs autograph today, and who knows what you could get for it in 5 years from now.
Buy 5 and send your kids to college.
No guarantees. And of course, we have our Goddess Hangs BFF Patreon, the best community in the entire freaking universe. We have the BFF tier where you get to join our now beautifully, enchantingly organized Discord server. It's been such a delight to enter onto this new platform. It feels so good, so organized, so inspiring. We have all of these organized chats. There's nearly 70 BFFs now, which is pretty crazy.
We're like sort of creeping up to the 3 digits, which is just wild.
And we also have the Coven tier, which you get the BFF group chat, of course, and you have a once a month Coven meeting with us, your favorite witches. February's was super fun. We did a self-love spell jar and learned about sex magic, and we haven't decided what March's Coven meeting is going to be quite yet. We're going to ask our Coven members. It's going to be so fun. The live calls are so magical. The group energy is powerful, and when you join, you get access to all of the replays from the past month since we started in, I believe, November. So you have plenty to catch up on when you join the Coven, and we're so excited to see you in there. Make sure you join us.
Wait, you're gonna love it. It's so much fun. It is the best way to chat with Sadie and I every single day. We are popping in, everybody's sharing their outfits and their pets and their spells and their shadow work and everything everything's really, really just so beautifully organized. And
you know what I just thought of? If you're ready to feel safer, becoming more visible, this is the platform. Because I always say, I'm like, you know what I love about our community is everyone in there is like an influencer. Like we're all like, everyone's posting a outfit of the day selfie and everyone's sharing their shopping hauls, and we all genuinely like care and want to see it from everybody. So if you want to practice like showing up more, this is the space to do it, where everyone's going to be ready to like hype you up. And we've seen so many people like sort of blossom and grow into themselves and get ready to like then move it over to being like a business, a social media platform and things like that, because they had this like group energy as they got started. So visibility is something you're working on. This is a beautiful platform to sort of give it a practice run and feel really safe in a really safe, expansive space. And then, you know, carry it outside of there.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, goddesses. Make sure you're following us on Instagram. We're at Goddess Hangs. We have a beautiful website, goddesshangs.com. Make sure you're following both of us on Instagram. I am Sadie Olson.
I'm at juliet.piper. Please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, preferably.
You can send us a screenshot of your Apple Podcast review to goddesshangs@gmail.com, and we'll email you back our goddess meditation that we personally recorded together.
And it's the only place you can get it. We don't sell it anywhere.
And if you join our email list, you get a weekly love letter from us with a Goddess Hangs challenge, which is typically a journaling prompt or an exercise to work on. And when you sign up, you get my world famous money spell.
What can beat that?
Just saying, I should be charging big bucks for that thing because it's brought a lot of money to a lot of people. So join our email list today.
It's very generous of you to put that on the email list.
You know, I wanted to do it.
Well, sign up for the email list now, because maybe she'll change her mind. Maybe she'll say,
I honestly was like, y'all are making a lot of money off of this, but I'm happy about that. But we might switch that out at some point to a different spell, an equally powerful spell.
So grab your money spell while you can.
Yes. All right, goddesses. We'll see you next week. Bye.